So iPhone season is upon us. Most likely we'll see an Apple keynote of the month of September, which is next month. And it's been a minute since I gave you guys the latest and greatest iPhone 13 leaks and rumors. Yes, it's been February since my last leaks video. The naming of the iPhone 13 could be called the iPhone 12s. As we know, this is going to be an incremental upgrade to the iPhone 12. So we still going to see the same old boxy squared off design. We're still going to see four sizes, which is 5.4, 6.1, 6.1 again with the 13 Pro, and the 13 Pro Max being 6.7. But I still believe that Apple is going to call this the iPhone 13. Just look at the naming of the iPhone 12s. I feel like a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's the iPhone 12 again, but you just have the S. Maybe not that many people will notice, but the iPhone 13 seems like it's a better naming for marketing. So who knows? Apple could call it the 12s or the 13, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to call it the iPhone 13. The iPhone 13 and the 13 mini camera modules will be rearranged slightly. So we have this diagonal design. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Does it look weird or does it look better than the iPhone 12? It's not clear on what the benefits of this. It could be like a larger sensor where both camera modules can't be on top of each other. So having them diagonal would make more sense. And to go alongside with that, the camera is actually going to be protruding pretty significantly. I feel like throughout the years, the iPhone cameras has gotten better with the protrusion. Basically, if you guys don't know what protrusion is, that's where the camera sticks out from the frame of the iPhone itself. So for this year's iPhone, it's going to be pretty significant. So let's take the iPhone 12 Pro, for example. I have one here. You guys can see the camera module. You can see it stick out a little bit. But with the iPhone 13, it's going to be pretty noticeable. So that's just something to keep in mind of. The iPhone 13 Pro models will be 0.2 millimeters thicker compared to the 12 Pro series. This could accommodate to a larger battery or maybe just to accommodate with the camera, who knows. But speaking of battery, the batteries will be larger this time around. So the iPhone 13 Pro Max is going to be a 4,352 milliamps compared to 3,687 on the 12 Pro Max. And then as for the 13 and the 13 Pro, we're going to see a 3095 milliamp, and that is up from 2815 milliamps on the 12 and the 12 Pro. The 13 mini is going to be 2406 milliamps, up from 2227 milliamps. So battery life across the board will be larger. And to go alongside with that, we're going to be seeing the A15 chip bringing more power and efficiency. So even go alongside with the battery life and having the performance, of course, is going to be faster. Apple is always raising the bar when it comes down to SoC, system on the chip. So I'm curious to see the numbers of the A15 chip and see how faster it is compared to the A14 chip, which is on the iPhone 12 series. The LiDAR sensor will only remain on the Pro models yet again. So for the 13 Pro and the Pro Max, we will see the LiDAR sensor again. It will be totally absent on the regular iPhone 13s, which is the mini and the standard iPhone 13. ProRes and portrait video recording is coming to the iPhone. This is a pretty big deal. So portrait is like this bokeh effect that you guys seeing in the background. So it's keeping me in focus while the background is totally blurred. So I'm curious to see how that tech is going to work. Maybe thanks to the A15 chip and maybe the cameras on the iPhone 13. But I wouldn't be surprised if Apple reserved this only for the Pro models thanks to that LiDAR scanner. Maybe just to scan the background and have that precision cut. I don't know. Apple could do something like that, so be prepared. Same thing with ProRes. That could only be for the Pro model iPhones. ProRes is Apple's very own Kodak. Think of it as higher quality video, basically. Essentially, Apple is continuing with the ProRAW, ProRes. So with ProRAW, that's for pictures. And now for the 13, ProRes is going to be for the videos. And let me tell you guys, I shoot a lot of ProRAW pictures. It takes a lot of space. So be prepared. This is going to take a substantial amount of space on your iPhone. So definitely want to go with 256 gigabytes or higher if you plan on shooting ProRes or even ProRAW. On the iPhone 12 Pro Max, you remember we saw the sensor shift stabilization. We could very well see that on the 13 Pro, the standard size 6.1 inch iPhone, not just reserved for the Pro Max model. Now, after using the Pro Max, I didn't really see a difference or I didn't really notice the difference with the stabilization. Now, according to Michi Kuo, we could see a smaller notch. Now, this is a rumor that's been speculating for years now. The notch is still looking dated now, but if they can shrink it, fine, cool, but no notch would be so much more superior. Now, I'm very curious. Would you guys rather see no notch but thick bezels similar to the iPad Pro, or thin bezels but a smaller notch? Let me know down in the comments down below. Touch ID. I really do miss Touch ID. I love Face ID, and really thanks to that update where you can unlock it using your Apple Watch, I really don't miss Touch ID, but sometimes it's so satisfying. You rest your finger down and your phone is automatically unlocked. That is so satisfying. So having Touch ID implemented onto the iPhone 13 will be nice. And there's a 50-50 chance that we could see Touch ID, but I wouldn't hold my breath, take it with a grain of salt. But I know Apple is working on getting Touch ID underneath the display. But even if you put it on the power button, and you guys know how thick the iPhone power button is, you could rest your finger there with no problems. So I know they could do the same thing for the iPhone 13. And it was kind of unfortunate how we didn't see it on the iPhone 12. So hopefully on the iPhone 13, we'll see some kind of fingerprint biometric other than just Face ID. Always on display. Apple is finally implementing LTPO on the iPhones. Now, it's the same tech that is on the Apple Watch. We should have seen this on the XS or the iPhone 11 for that matter, because you have the OLED display already. So they could put some kind of always on. And LTPO stands for low temperature polycarbonate oxide. Basically efficiency onto the OLED to help with the always on display. So having that on the iPhone instead of just this black screen would be appreciated. 120 hertz. Now, this is something that people wanted to see on the iPhone 12, but it was scrapped the last second because of battery concerns. So it didn't meet Apple's standards. And I don't blame them, because when you implement 5G, which 5G burns through battery life, it chews through it, and then add it on an always on display, or not even always on, but just 120 hertz, the battery life is going to drain like this. So the larger battery, that's going to help with the always on and the 120 hertz. I see Apple doing this only for the Pro model iPhones and just having 60 hertz on the standard iPhone 13s, because essentially this is Pro Motion. So they want to reserve the promotion on the Pro devices. So be prepared. So 120 hertz will be a welcome change to the iPhone. We had it for years on the iPad, and it is long overdue to have it on the iPhone. So Apple could very well make it happen now. Now, 1 terabyte of storage could be a thing on the iPhone. I wouldn't be surprised if Apple only reserved this for the Pro series. I know Apple can do it. They've done it on the iPad Pro with 2 terabytes of storage. So you could do this on the iPhone 13. You can. Now, I've been seeing a lot of rumors speculating that Apple is going to max the charging power to 25 watts. So you could charge your iPhone to 25 watts. And I know the Android market, or the Android or Samsung Knights, they probably laughing at that because you guys have like 190. You guys have some crazy numbers. And I know Apple isn't the best when it comes down to charging, but this is a nice step though. Nonetheless, this is a nice step. It is only 5 more watts added on. I wish it was 50 watts, but nonetheless, it is good to see an improvement to the charging speeds. You guys don't want to miss my charging test, because I am going to be doing another one for the iPhone 13. It's crazy to think how my iPhone 12 charge test video is my second most viewed video. Thank you guys so much for watching that one. I'm definitely going to be bringing it back for the iPhone 13, so you guys don't want to miss it. It's very likely that we will see the Lightning port on this iPhone. I know there's been a lot of talk about Apple switching to a portless iPhone. The Lightning port is such an inconvenience for me, because I have an iPad Pro, a MacBook Pro. Those 2 devices are Type-C. So having an iPhone in my pocket, now I have to get the Lightning cable to charge it up. It just, I hate it so much. I don't hate the Lightning cable. It's just annoying sometimes. We could very well see a brand new bronze color. So bringing back rose gold, kind of like. This is going to look so gorgeous, especially with that stainless steel and the frosted back. Or maybe it's for the standard iPhone 13. Graphite is going to be replaced by black, just simple black. So we have an all black iPhone 13 Pro. And we could see this sunset gold. So all the colors are just going to be refined. Something fresh and new again. The AirPods 3 is likely to launch in September. It's featuring a brand new redesign. I'm sure we're gonna get some new chips. It looks just like the AirPods Pro, minus of course the noise cancellation, maybe the transparency. So we're gonna be missing out on some features. This is just the standard AirPods 3. Now in terms of release, this is expected to release late September. Last year we had production issues due to the pandemic. Now here's a little bonus for the iPhone 14 Pro. It could feature a tough titanium material. I don't know why isn't it part of the iPhone 13 Pro? I don't know, but the iPhone 14 Pro, we could see titanium. And I can't wait to see how that's going to look. But as we know, titanium and aluminum, it looks the same from a distance. Aesthetically, I like the glossy stainless steel, even though it's a fingerprint magnet. So I don't know. We got to wait and see how the iPhone 14 is going to look. But for now, let's focus on the iPhone 13. And yeah, that pretty much concludes my iPhone 13 leaks and rumors. I hope you guys enjoyed it or learned something new. If you guys did, I appreciate it with a thumbs up. Let me know down in the comments down below what you guys think about the iPhone 13. Are you planning on getting one? And make sure you guys subscribe with notifications on for iPhone 13 content. You guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be a good one. Trust me. Until next time, guys, have a simple day. Peace.